Nazanine Moshiri is a senior analyst in climate, environment and conflict at the International Crisis Group. Good to see you, Nazanine. Now, look, it's been the hottest summer on record. Do you think that's made a difference, do you think, at this summit in terms of a sense of urgency on climate action?
I think in terms of the impacts of these climate shocks on Africa, Africa is really bearing the brunt while being responsible for a tiny fraction of global carbon emissions, I think about 4%. So the way that it impacts African countries is through an increasing likelihood of severe droughts and floods. Where I am, in Nairobi, in the Horn of Africa, the region has suffered about 3 years of failed rains, and now we're facing an El Nino season, which means increasing flooding. And this, of course, is exposing people, particularly communities that I've spoken to in rural areas, people who are farming, people who are herders. It's exposing them to the worst of the climate shocks. So that's really made things very important here. But what really came out of the summit was more of a focus on global carbon taxes on fossil fuels. So the messages that came out were really from African leaders talking not only, as your correspondent mentioned there, about wealthier countries paying their fair share in terms of mitigation money to Africa, but what they were also asking for was global carbon tax on fossil fuels, aviation, maritime transportation, and a reform of the world financial system that is basically forcing African countries to borrow more money to basically fund trying to deal with all these climatic impacts.
So it's interesting that you talk about the carbon taxes and coming together and deciding on those. Who pays and how much is always a hot topic at forums like this. But as well as that loss and damage, there does seem to be a focus on the economic opportunities of the green transition, like, as you mentioned, building new financial structures, tapping into Africa's huge mineral wealth. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So Kenya's President William Ruto, right from the start of this summit, said that this wasn't a blame game, that African leaders aren't just pleading for help, but they're offering solutions too for fighting climate change. I mean, it was interesting that the president made his way to the event in a small electric car, a real contrast to the usual government convoys that you see on the streets of Nairobi often. And what they're trying to do is basically provide this new vision, this green vision of investments to basically, as you said, investing in, green minerals, for example, but also investing in a change away from fossil fuels, so renewable energies. But you still have to look at the fact that many countries in Africa, particularly just looking around Kenya, look at Sudan, look at Somalia, and look further west to Niger, look at Gabon. A lot of these countries are suffering from conflict and from political instability. So a lot of these funds are risk averse. So they're not going to invest money in countries that are suffering from conflict or political instability. And very little was said at this summit about that. Exactly what you said. Who is going to pay? How is the money going to come in? Is it just going to go to areas which are safer bets for international investment? This country in Kenya and the continent is really heavily burdened with debt already. It doesn't need more loans. It needs more concessional loans, more grants, and that's the only way forward, really, to make this work.
Nazanine Moshiri, thank you very much.